Hey, Pat here for the preseason week one of the free champion rotation of League of Legends. We're leading up to season three, where everything is good unless you're a jungler. So let's go over the things you're going to be seeing this week with basic advice, some warnings, and just the kind of things you need to know if you're playing free champions. So first off, we have Cho'Gath. You're going to see him mainly in top lane. You could also see him coming out of the jungle at you. Basic things to know about Cho'Gath is he's able to knock you up in the air easily. He can silence you. He actually has a cone silence that can affect an entire enemy team. And his basic attacks can shoot out spikes to do extra damage. His ultimate is really dangerous because it does true damage. And if he kills something with his ultimate, he grows larger, so he becomes more and more of a dangerous tank as the match goes along. Don't really worry about targeting the Cho'Gath. He can do some damage if he goes AP, but in most cases he's going to be the team's tank. So don't focus on Cho'Gath. If you're playing Cho'Gath, and you're going jungling, try to chain your feast, which is your ultimate, with smite, and you should be able to just. No one's going to smite steal from you with a massive pile of true damage that's going to be. Up next, we have Dr. Mundo, who you'll mainly see in the jungle. I recently played a game with Matt where we were up against a support Mundo. Just huck cleavers forever. Just sit in the bush, huck cleaver, huck cleaver, huck cleaver. The main gimmicks of Dr. Mundo is he has a natural health regeneration, and that's just his whole deal. He's a health hero. All of his skills use health or are based around regaining health. He's very hard to kill, so if you are playing as Mundo, you're kind of a tank. He's a real tanky jungler. He has a really quick clear because one of his abilities is just like one of the standards. You have damage to everything that's around you. A little quick AoE damage aura. He is able to throw a cleaver that slows, um, and that's a skill shot. He has a skill shot cleaver that slows, and he regains health if he actually hits with it. And his ultimate is super annoying, just tons and tons of health regain. If you're up against a Dr. Mundo, the main thing you're going to want to do is get a Grievous Wounds item or hit him with Ignite. I recently just started using Executioner's Calling against Mundos, and that shuts him down actually pretty good. Next, we have Gangplank. Now, he is a top laner. You're mainly going to see him top lane. You could see him in bot lane. I'll go into that in a second. But his main gimmick, well, he's a couple. He has his Q, which is Parlay. It allows him to shoot a bullet. Normally, he's a melee champion. And they buff that to give him some mana regen after that. So, the main thing you're going to really worry about Gangplank is that he can crit off of that. So, he could Q you for massive damage at a long range. He is also, you can't CC this guy. He can eat oranges, which I think is called Cure Scurvy, and that basically is like Alistair's ultimate, but just as a standard thing. He has a speed boost, so that's like a natural Shirley's Revelry, and he has a global ultimate that rains down damage and slows. So he's very dangerous on the top lane, and you could hear all the utility in his move. That also makes him a fairly interesting support if you're willing to have the patience for that. Up next, speaking of that, we have a real support. We have Gianna. She's a kind of out of style, especially when we have a new mermaid support that's coming up. But her main thing is that she has tons and tons of movement speed, so she's really hard to catch. She's a projectile that knocks up in the air. She can shield towers. If she shields your AD carry, they get basically, at max level, a free BF sword. So she's one of those supports that allows your AD carry to play a little recklessly because they have a shield and do buku damage. They can slow people, and her ultimate is a aura that heals allies and pushes away enemies. Proper Gianna usage is really cool, and she can be really annoying if you're not used to those tornadoes heading at you. Next, we have Karthus. I'm going to say 100% of the time you're going to see him mid lane. The main thing you need to worry about Karthus is his ultimate. It is a global ult that does really strong damage, and because of his passive where he can stay alive after he's killed for about 8 or so seconds, if you kill Karthus, he can use his ultimate. If you start a battle, he'll use his ultimate. If you are ever about to die, don't bother burning any of your summoner spells or anything. You're just going to die. Karthus will kill you. If you're playing as Karthus, if you ever see someone say R or something in the chat, just press your ultimate. You're going to get an assist or a kill at that very second. He has methods of regaining mana. He has a Q that's really great for farming with. It does more damage if it hits single targets. He can shred magic resistance and slow. He's got lots of great utility, as well as an AoE, a massive AoE damage aura that when he dies, he could just wreck enemy teams with. Next up, we have Malphite. You're mainly going to see Malphite in the top. He's got a whole bunch of great abilities. His passive gives him basically a built-in shield. If you're looking at Malphite, if his skin looks like rocks and it doesn't look like he's battle damaged or magma or something like that, that means he has just bonus health on top of his normal health. Basically, like a shield. It'll look like gray health to you. So that means he's very resilient. He can win a lot of trades because if you're going to hit him, chances are you're just going to knock out his shield and he'll win that trade. He can hit you with a distance ability that allows him to steal speed from you. You slow down, he speeds up. He has a built-in Sunfire cloak, basically, with one of his abilities passives, and his ultimate is basically Alistair's Headbutt Pulverize, but just that's his ultimate. Rushes in, knocks up a whole bunch of people. He can be very dangerous. He used to be in the jungle. He may be back in the jungle in season 3, but you're mainly going to see Malphite in the top. Very, very dangerous character, especially late game. Next up, we have Captain Teemo. You could see Teemo in support. You could see him failing as an AD carry, and you may even see him top, shutting down some people. His main top gimmick is that his Q allows him to blind. He's still one of the few heroes, along with, I think, Heimerdinger, that allows you to just basically mean that any melee or, I think, even ranged attack that goes against him is just going to miss 100% while they're under that effect. Usage and warning, he's going to plant mushrooms. His ultimate is an ammo based thing that I don't think ever expires. He can plant poison mushrooms all over the map. If you're against a Teemo, never run into the bushes because there's a chance the Teemo has put mushrooms in those bushes. Can't tell you the amount of times I've seen someone kill a Teemo and then walk off all chuckly like, that was pretty good, hit a mushroom or two, and then die. Watch out for that. He is also a poison champion, and his passive, while kind of useless, can catch you off guard if he stands still for I think 5 to 6 seconds. He cloaks, and but he's a very squishy target, so I never really like to do that. But I guess that means he can escape. And he's got his W passively gives him tons of movement speed, and activated gives him tons of movement speed. So little bugger's hard to catch. Teemo, pretty cool champion. Next up, I think we have our only dedicated AD carry of the week, Kog'Maw. He is an AD carry. Like Vayne, he's one of those late game ones. You want to just make sure that he makes it to the end of the game and then he can shred, shred, shred because he could do damage based off of maximum enemy health. He has a buff that allows him to gain extra range, so he goes from having a respectable range to up to a Caitlyn slash buffed up Poppy range. He has a line slow. His ultimate is a just terror from the sky. He could just shoot artillery, which if it hits somebody, you gain vision of them. And his passive can be kind of annoying. It basically means when you kill him, he can suicide bomb you. So Karthus and him, if you kill people, there's still a chance that you're going to die this week. Oh yeah, and Teemo basically with those mushrooms. Not really a passive, but that's something to worry about. Next, and there used to be AP Kog'Maw. They nerfed him in several ways, so you don't really see that much. But I think that it's just something the pros aren't willing to do. Who knows? You might be able to have fun as AP Kog'Maw. You really want to press his ultimate at that point. Next up, we have one of my favorite champions, Shyvana, the Half Dragon. You're going to see her in the jungle or top lane. No one really plays her top lane anymore, but I do like her top lane. She is a bit of a beast. She is I guess she's kind of like an energy champion. She's just a cooldown based champion, and whenever you do a move with her, it builds up a super bar, basically, like a fighting game. Then once you hit 100%, she can turn into a dragon. And a lot of her jungle ganks come from that, where you can kind of initiate by flying in as a dragon. The dragon's real usage is that it makes all of her abilities go from single target to just multi-target. Her Q is just one of those quick second hit kind of things that'll proc most items like Phage or any of this, or Lifesteal, which can be very helpful. That'll hit the whole team. She has a great AoE damage thing similar to Mundo, where she just surrounds herself with fire. Her E is something which you really should respect. It allows her to shred enemy armor, which lets her win a lot of trades. I think that's kind of like her secret sauce if you want to play top lane Shyvana. A lot of tanky people still think they're going to win trades, but if you hit them with your E and they're not paying attention, shred their armor and kill them, kill them, kill them. Yet again, the thing you really need to worry about if you're fighting against a Shyvana is that at any time she's either going to be able to engage, escape, or just kind of change battles once she turns into a dragon. She gains a massive amount of armor and magic resist as well, so she can become really, really tanky. And our final hero of the week, Ziggs. I love Ziggs. Never won a game as Ziggs, but he is your AP mid. He has bouncing bombs. He's a bomb-based hero. His central thing is that his Q allows him to throw a bomb, and it bounces, so you can actually hop it over minions and hit a hero. What that really kind of means is he just has a really long-range Q. He has some other utility abilities. He can plant minefields. He can plant an explosive charge that can toss him away, so he has a bit of an escape that could do damage to enemies that are nearby. And his ultimate is a great. I'm gonna say it's similar to the Twisted Fate range, if you're used to that, where he just hucks a giant bomb, and the closer you are to the center of it, the more damage you take. If you watch one of our latest videos, which I may or may not be up yet, so look for one where I'm playing Graves, and you'll see a great use of a Ziggs explosive. So fun week. No one I'm really terrified of. I usually hate Munoz, but now that I'm building the Executioner's Calling, I'm less worried about him. Karthus will be annoying. Karthus will be annoying. So let's quickly look at the sales. Skin-wise, you're looking at Purple Shaco. Seems to be the only difference I can really tell at him. Renekton with armor. That looks kind of cool. And oh man, my pick of the week. Oh man, Primal Udyr. Primal Udyr. He turns into the animal that he is. How cool is that? Heroes, man, Diana. That makes a very I really want Diana because I've been practicing in the jungle, and she's also a very dangerous mid. I wouldn't say she's like Cassidy, but she's one of those ones where she does AP damage and can do buku damage on champions that don't want to be leaped on. Blitzcrank, totally scary support, and Kennen, who can go top or mid. You'll mainly see him in the mid. So these are great sales. Well, great costumes. Best beast mode. Activate the beast mode. Look at that. It's like a desktop wallpaper right there. That's so cool. Activate beast mode. And some solid champions. So this is a pretty good week for the League of Legends. So have fun.